Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into some massive news that could shake up the gaming world as we know it. In recent news, Tencent and Ubisoft have been in talks about an acquisition of Ubisoft. But what does this mean for the future of the Ubisoft brand and their games in general? Because things could get a little shaky, especially when we look at Tencent's history with mobile gaming and free-to-play games, which we all know incite microtransactions. First off, let's discuss Tencent. I didn't know much about them at first, but they're actually a giant in the gaming world, known predominantly for their mobile games portfolio, which mostly consists of free-to-play titles. And let's be real, most of these games like Honor of Kings and PUBG Mobile rely heavily on microtransactions. These games are designed to hook players in, then make money through in-game purchases like skins, boosts, or loot boxes. Pay to win. So what happens if a company that's laser focused on mobile games and free-to-play modules buys Ubisoft, who are creators of immersive worlds like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and the Division franchise? Well, if they do acquire Ubisoft, we could see a shift in how the games are developed, possibly leaning more into microtransaction-heavy models. And let's not forget, Tencent is the same company that co-developed the Division 2. I've played the Division franchise from the alpha of part 1, so I'm heavily involved in that franchise and I know a lot about it, and I understand the shift because after the Division 2 was released, it didn't quite hit the same highs as the Division 1, but we'll talk about that more later. Because to understand the potential shift, we need to dive into the culture of free-to-play games. These games are a goldmine for companies because they're accessible to a large audience. I mean, who doesn't want free, right? But the real money comes from the microtransactions. In most cases, gameplay depth and narrative are secondary. The goal is to keep players engaged just enough to spend more money. Honor of Kings, for example, made billions in revenue each year by pushing players to buy skins and other cosmetic items. This is a model that could seep into Ubisoft's franchises, unfortunately, if Tencent's influence grows. Instead of deep story-driven experiences, we could end up with games designed to monetize every aspect of the experience. Imagine playing the next Assassin's Creed but having to deal with constant prompts to buy gear or upgrades. There's danger there. By the way, if you want to go check out their games library, you can go to tencentgames.com because they have like 3 or 4 different websites, tencent.com, tencentsomething.com, and for the specific games website, you want to check out tencentgames.com. And what I noticed was when I was scrolling down, all I seen was mobile. Then it went into the client games, which are PC. So I did a ratio assessment and they have 55 mobile games, 27 client games, and 4 platform games. So this amounts to 64% of their games being mobile games, 31 being client games, and 5% being platform games. And we all know that Ubisoft is known for its expansive narrative-driven franchises. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and even The Division have built loyal fan bases thanks to their rich worlds and immersive stories. And Assassin's Creed, being one of Ubisoft's flagship franchises, of course, we know that would likely bear the brunt of this. It's already a popular series, and Tencent might see it as a goldmine for monetization through in-game purchases and live service models. However, let's not forget about the Division franchise, okay? The Division hasn't been hit as hard by recent negativity surrounding Ubisoft, and it's still a strong franchise in terms of fan base and gameplay potential. And I didn't even know this until I visited tencentgames.com that The Division 2 was co-developed with Tencent. They own 49% stake, so it makes sense. And when I would play The Division 2, in the back of my mind, I would notice a shift or a difference in the way things are. Over the lifespan of Division 2, they sold a lot of cosmetics. Anybody who plays The Division 2 knows that. And we see how the game has leaned more into live service elements and ongoing monetization. The fact is that it wasn't as well received as the first Division game, which had more of a classic, complete experience. And the thing is, Tencent didn't get involved with Ubisoft until 2018, 2 years after the Division 1 was released in 2016. So their influence wasn't felt on the first game. But we have to look at this even further and see what's the best strategy for Tencent if they fully take over Ubisoft. Let's say they do, okay? Let's say Tencent buys Ubisoft and they have fully acquired them. Think about what game they should lead with, okay? Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, The Division. And you may be thinking Assassin's Creed, being a huge name, it might not be the best franchise to lead with. Given all the recent controversy and changes that have alienated some longtime fans, Assassin's Creed is globally recognized, sure, but it's been through the ringer and it's been through ups and downs lately. Simply put, there's risk that fans might be wary of more drastic changes under the leadership of Tencent. On the other hand, the Division franchise might be the perfect Trojan horse for Tencent to introduce itself to Ubisoft's fanbase. Despite some bumps, the Division still has a loyal following, and it hasn't been tainted by as much negativity as other Ubisoft titles. It's a franchise with solid roots and a proven formula that fans enjoy. By focusing on the Division franchise and maintaining its core feel, its tactical combat, immersive world building, and a rewarding progression system, Tencent could win the trust of existing fans while subtly introducing new innovations or services, which I'm sure they're going to try and do, but they have to approach this with immense strategy. You can't go in there automatically introducing all of these microtransactions and whatever you normally do. And this strategy would allow Tencent to ease into Ubisoft's ecosystem without appearing overly aggressive or disrupting the gameplay that fans love. If they keep the Division feeling like the Division while possibly expanding its world or enhancing live service features, Tencent could position itself as a company that respects and builds upon the legacies of Ubisoft's most beloved franchises. But before I sound the alarm too loud, let's talk about the bright side. Tencent is not some evil company that produces all free-to-play and microtransaction-filled games. Because what I also didn't know before exploring tencentgames.com is that they're currently developing Dune Awakening. I am a huge fan of Dune in general, the movie, and usually I don't really get games based off movies, but I have to get that game. It just looks amazing, and I love the lore of Dune. And it's an MMO survival game set in the Dune universe. From the footage we've seen, the game looks promising, and this shows that Tencent is capable of investing in high-quality immersive titles. So it's not all bad news. There's a possibility that they could use their resources to produce large-scale games that still appeal to core gamers. If Tencent handles Ubisoft's franchises with the same care of Dune Awakening, we could see some quality AAA titles come out of this. To wrap up, the potential acquisition of Ubisoft by Tencent could usher in significant changes. That's no doubt. This is a complete shift in the whole gaming landscape. You know, Ubisoft is not the only company going through this. I heard Sony's going through the ringer, and other companies are going through issues with their stocks being low and whatever else is going on. And that's because of a multitude of reasons. And it's natural for us to be wary of a shift towards microtransaction-heavy formats. But there's also a chance for innovation and fresh investment, possibly leading to the next big hits. But what do you think? Will this change be good for Ubisoft, or could it spell trouble for our favorite games? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like this conversation, like the video. Also subscribe if you feel inclined. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.